You're at a party and someone is telling a wild story about their recent trip to the Grand Canyon. You're nodding along, but your mind is racing with thoughts about how you can't believe they forgot to mention the epic hike they took. Meanwhile, your friend across the room is convinced that the story was all about the food they ate. What's going on? Your brain is playing tricks on you, filtering out the noise and focusing on what it thinks is important. We all think we truly control our memory 100%, and schools have demanded from us an accurate ability to memorize and keep facts. But that couldn't be further from the real thing. Much like anything human psychology, it isn't as simple. Fun fact, your brain plays favorites with information and decides what's worth remembering. This is obviously another simplistic breakdown of selective perception and retention, two ways our minds decide what to notice and what to ignore. Selective perception is pretty much like having a personal assistant, but one in your brain that decides which piece of information gets your attention and which one gets locked in the rear. Now, it's not just about what you see, but also about what you expect to see, and that could make a world of difference in what you remember and what you don't. If you've ever walked into a bakery and immediately spotted the chocolate cake, even though there were dozens of other treats, you've experienced this phenomenon firsthand. Your love for chocolate has primed your brain to notice it first. Let's say you're sitting in a classroom and the teacher starts talking about a subject you find boring, like advanced calculus. Your mind might wander off to thoughts about lunch or that new video game you want to play. When the teacher asks a question later, you might realize that you have no idea what they were talking about. Your brain selectively filtered out the information based on your interest level. Some part of this can be explained by your personality. Your personality plays a big role in how selective perception works. If you're an optimistic person, you're likely to focus on the positive aspects of situations. You might walk into that same classroom and only remember the teacher's praise for your last assignment while ignoring any criticism. On the flip side, if you're more cynical, you might latch onto every negative comment and blow them out of proportion. Think about two friends watching the same movie. One friend loves action films and can't get enough of the explosions and stunts, while the other prefers romantic comedies and finds the action scenes distracting and pointless. Afterward, they'll have completely different takes on the film. One will rave about how thrilling it was, while the other will complain about how unrealistic it felt. Their personalities shaped their perceptions of the same experience. Now, there are two sides to this coin, what you see and what you remember. Selective retention is the way we remember things that align with our beliefs or interests while conveniently forgetting everything else. If you're someone who believes that cats are better than dogs, and let's be honest, some people are very passionate about this, you might remember every story where cats did something heroic or funny while completely overlooking tales of heroic dogs. By the way, cats are better. This can lead to some interesting situations. Let's say two friends are having a discussion about their favourite pets. One friend shares a story about how their cat saved them from a spider, which is definitely a stretch, while the other friend talks about how their dog helped them find their lost keys. The cat lover might nod along, but forget all about the dog story because it doesn't fit their narrative. Selective perception and retention can be both good and bad for us. On one hand, they help us focus on what matters most in our lives. If you're studying for an important test, your brain will filter out distractions so you can concentrate on your notes. This ability to hone in on relevant information can boost your performance. However, there's a downside too. When we only remember what aligns with our beliefs or interests, we risk creating an echo chamber where we only hear opinions that reinforce our views. This is especially dangerous in today's world of social media, where algorithms curate our feeds based on past behavior, leading us to believe we're surrounded by like-minded individuals when we might actually be missing out on diverse perspectives. Your personality not only shapes how you perceive things, but also how you retain information. If you're an anxious person, stressful situations may cause your brain to block out memories associated with those events as a coping mechanism. For instance, if you had a bad experience at a party where everyone seemed to ignore you, your mind might choose to forget most details from that night altogether. Conversely, if you're an outgoing individual who thrives in social settings, you'll likely remember every fun moment from that party, the laughter, the conversations, even the snacks. Your personality drives your focus and memory retention in ways that can significantly influence your experiences. So how do we deal with these little inconveniences that our brains are prone to? The key is simply being aware. Recognizing that your perceptions are influenced by biases can help you step back and evaluate situations more objectively. Next time you're in a heated debate with a friend over whether pineapple belongs on pizza, take a moment to consider their perspective instead of just defending your own. Encouraging open conversations with people who have different viewpoints can also broaden your understanding of various topics. You might find that listening to someone else's experience helps fill in gaps in your own perception. Selective perception and retention are fascinating aspects of human behavior that showcase how our brains work tirelessly to filter out noise and focus on what matters most to us, whether we realize it or not. Our personalities play a significant role in shaping these processes, influencing how we perceive experiences and remember information. So next time you find yourself zoning out during class or passionately defending your favorite pet over another, remember it's just your brain doing its job. After all, life is too short to miss out on all the colourful details around us, so subscribe to our channel to learn more to grow into a colourful human being.